sprawling cast and complicated stories and odd things like the one Brandon mentioned, mixed with hammer horror and beautiful Gene Colan art and Marvel and plotting. So, I mean, if Marvel was getting away with, Marvel Comics was getting away with some really interesting horror stuff right at the right time for me, that early adolescence period for me. So that was a specifically comic bookish scene from my book.
I don't actually remember this, but apparently when I was 4, I was sent to Bible school, and on the first day they said, "Does anyone know the sign of the cross?" And I said, "I do." So I'm like, "Okay, Matt, what's the sign of the cross?" Where did you learn that? And I said, "From Dracula movies." Apparently, before I was 4, I was watching Dracula.
Mine goes back a little further than that. In the womb, my mom saw The Exorcist, and that's her favorite story, that she was in the theater pregnant with me, and the lady next to her threw up. And that's where, so I guess from then on I was stuck.
At least it wasn't Rosemary's Baby, though.
Yes,
You were kind of Christmas anyway.
I guess. Yeah. Josh, you mentioned EC horror, and I think all of us can say that that's been an influence to us. Compared to current comics, what are your thoughts? Like comparisons, contrasts, anything comes to mind?
I mean, it's like I'm sort of crazy for Golden Age and Silver Age comics, partly because they're so much broader in terms of genre, where you have Sandman, who's one of the first superheroes, and it's actually just a terrifying pulp crime noir. Like that's just sort of the Mandarin Magician. You have this kind of great history of that stuff. I mean, really, what it comes down to is those stories, like The Twilight Zone, show you how simple it can be to get under someone's skin and scare the crap out of them. And they do it so effectively, and they do it in 5 to 8 pages at most. And they manage to do. We spend in modern comics issues trying to build up a character, whereas you can read, you read a DC comic and it's, well, that's the Mummy and that's the Half-Boy. You get it. They cut right through quick, and it makes the stuff easily recognizable and identifiable, and completely identifiable and relatable to the audience in a way that we don't have anymore.
Anyone else like EC comics down there?
I love EC comics.
Me too.
I just think there's nothing more. I still have never encountered something with such a perfect blend of humor and terror. Most things don't balance that as brilliantly as the EC comics did. I found myself laughing out loud at the things that happen to these people, and at the same time, just terrified by the images that they were able to manifest. It's really a singular era.
Something to get back. The call is coming from inside the room.
I told you never to call me. It's coming from inside the room.
So one of the subjects that came up last year that really interested me was crossing that personal line as a writer. I know that the kind of like canned answer is saying that there is no line to cross and everything, and this is my way of making you guys say what that line is, I guess. Do you guys have that line? Is there just somewhere you won't go as far as what you'll do in the horror stories? Because that's what it's all about, is crossing boundaries and things like that.
Definitely.
Brandon, what's wrong with you? No, I mean, for me, I write about, I can't write about anything that doesn't have some sort of personal relation, to my life. And so I tend to write, all the things I write about are things that I'm personally scared of, or things that personally upset me. And so, sadly, that means I write a lot of things my wife refused to read. For example, my book about a child murder that I wrote while she was pregnant, not go well, really not go well. But so I for me, where horror really comes from is being able to crawl underneath some and that means pushing buttons that you're uncomfortable with. Like I've written many things where you have to identify with the character is revolting. And it just becomes about finding humanity in that. And I think by finding humanity in reality and you're right, you don't so much have to worry about crossing lines. Or sticks being poked into eyeballs. That's just too much for me.
That's where you're going.
It doesn't for me. It's killed me.
What about the pencil in the ankle?
See, that one I actually really.
That one did
So
something.
it was a knife, it would be different, but it's
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's just doesn't sit well. I don't know. I have some lines that have been ingrained in me. I also went to a very conservative Christian school at an early age, and so it's an active struggle for me to, even though I don't know, because I can watch just about anything without cringing. I made it all the way through Human Centipede 2. Didn't even think. That's the one, huh? Come on, that was great.
The first one was great.
All right, we can get into that later. But I very much, there are a lot of stories. I worked for Clive Barker. I helped run his company, Sarah, and there are so many ideas that just go through that place that make my jaw drop. And I very badly want to see those ideas come to fruition, but it's not. I don't know. The thing is, I'm willing to push myself, and I'll go wherever I think someone hasn't gone before. But I find the biggest problem is where other people don't want to go, because we have tried to get a couple of projects off the ground, and even the people that come in and say, yes, push all the envelopes. We don't care if nobody sees this thing. We want a midnight movie. We want something no one's seen, and we'll pitch them a thing, and they say, no, that's definitely not, definitely. Can we get a gay robot, please? That's yours, my friend.
Any lines
The only
across
thing
that?
the only thing I would add is that, so I had finished my Crawl to Me book, which is, pretty much based on the horrors of reality and child abduction and things like that. It's a psychological thriller. But being the writer and the artist, I can pick and choose what kind of visuals to represent some of the tougher scenes. So that's kind of where I draw the line is, I still want to get those tough things across, but what you show or not show can sometimes be that more impactful.
Well, part one.
Yes.
We talked about The Innocents, which is a movie. It's an adaptation of Henry James's Turn of the Screw, which you have to read in high school and you probably think it's crap, but it's actually a terrifying ghost story. If only they told you that before you read it. Because I never did. You watch that movie and there's nothing scary in that movie. Like, nothing happens. There's not a ghost. You see a person standing through a window, like twice. And I watched that movie. I've seen it 100 times, and I watch it now as an adult, and I can't look out my windows. Like I physically, for a day or two, like I'm like. And the power of that movie is that you have no idea what you're seeing. Like, you're not seeing anything, so your mind just starts building, compounding, and creating. And that, that's part of the power of horror is that it takes what you're already paranoid and worried about, and it just draws it out. Like in the eye.